and a set.
No black cats, just straight facts.
Triple P certified.
Listen, we can talk about odds all day. It doesn't matter what the odds are. It matters what's gonna happen.
Welcome to the Perfect Parlay Pursuit. We are back. We are back again. Guys, from here on out, we will be streaming on Tuesday. Tuesday at 8, we will be doing the podcast until the end of football season so we can all watch and enjoy Monday Night Football. Tonight, it is Game 4 of the World Series. For posterity purposes, I will note that Yankees versus Dodgers. Dodgers are up 3-0, but this is not why you're here. You're here for us to recap the beautiful card that was UFC 308. As you can see from my New Balance, not my sneakers, my New Balance of my bankroll, baby. I'm up 230 units. I had a big night. The villains won. I came on here, and I told you guys that we'll get into it. We'll break it all down later. First, I'm going to check in with Alex. I'm going to check in with Dan. Then I'll gloat. Then I'll crack my winner's piss. Anytime you win, you get to drink, and you get to keep. The most important thing in my life is that I can drink responsibly and then I can gamble responsibly. And just like in football, just like with Tua Tagovailoa, if you get too many concussions, they don't let you play anymore. And in gambling, if you lose too much, they don't let you play anymore. So the only difference between a gambling problem and a gambling solution is whether you win or if you lose. And I just love that I started this season May 9th with $1,000 in my bankroll, and I said I'm going to gamble responsibly this year. And boy, do I have a lot of breathing room. I'm up 200 or 130 units. I don't know if it's two. I'm up 130 units. I'm living high off the hog. I would have been up a lot more. We'll get into it. I have screenshots. I have things to talk about. Dan, how was your weekend? I was with Alex. So if you guys want to know why I was a little bit quiet in the Discord, is because I was visiting my beautiful brother down here. I was visiting him at his apartment, which I had seen it was the first time seeing his apartment. I broke away from the family, not without a cavalcade of grief and guilt trips. But I was able to leave the wife, leave the kid at home for a measly, fucking 7 hours. You would have thought I went out for a gallon of milk and never came back. You know what I mean? The way that anyway, we'll get into this later too. But I left in the morning. The fight started at 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. I got up bright and early. I went to bed early Friday night. I went to bed at like 10 o'clock. Got up at like 7. Took a shower. Washed my pussy. Went and saw my brother Alex down there, and took a nice little drive to Pennsylvania, and was able to. Just me and him. His girl was out of town. I left the family at home. I abandoned my family for the day, and it was just me and him in a quiet apartment. Oh boy, was it nice! So I wasn't on the Discord too much because we were chatting. We were gabbing. Me and Alex were
chopping it up.
A little bit of shit, a little bit of chat. We were solving all the world's problems while watching the glorious card that was UFC 308. Being good boys, and. Dan, how was your Saturday? What did you do for the event? I know it was a big weekend for you as far as birthdays. You were celebrating some birthdays. Did you get a chance to anchor in and watch any of the fights?
I watched a couple of the fights. Kind of horrible timing as far as the fights were starting at 10, 11 a.m. That was right in the heart of my family party. So I got some good intel on Leal, that he was a good fighter. I did some homework myself, and I was like, this guy is good. I think he could beat Fakhretdinov. He's a one-dimensional fighter.
He won.
So I watched that fight. I'm with my mom. We're picking up the cake or whatever. I'm watching on my phone, and I'm seeing he's kicking the shit out of Renat for 3 rounds. The first one was 50-50, a coin toss. And then rounds 2 and 3, he's kicking the shit out of him. So a bunch of my parlays, most of them had Leal.
But you picked.
Wait, Dan, you put on most of your parlays the first fight of the night.
I found out Leal
was on most of your parlays, you put Leal the first fight of the night, which you're notoriously known for thinking 89.99.
Well, listen. If I had 10 parlays,
you picked
if
Tanap
I had 10
on
parlays,
the
hold
show.
on. If I had 10 parlays, 5 of them had Leal.
But you picked Fakradinov on the show.
I switched.
I changed my mind.
And I'm glad I did because he won the fight. So much so that before the third round even ended, there was a minute left. There's a minute left in the third. I was like, all right, well, he obviously won this. He won the fight. So I'm looking at my parlays. I'm like, wow, I'm in really good shape. And then, like, 15 minutes later, I check my phone. You back next to Renat Fakradinov. Totally. And then from that, I was like, you know what? This is a dirty card. It's a dirty card. I lost. I broke down a little bit. And, how can you have faith in the gambling process when such a robbery occurs the first fight? I've honestly never seen a bigger robbery in the UFC.
Well, I'll tell you what. So I can't
even compute how.
What about Jose Aldo versus?
Let him go off a little bit. Well, no, go ahead, Dan. Go off a little bit.
I mean, listen, I don't have the stats in front of me. All I know is that the guy shot like 15 takedowns. He stuffed 14 of them, and he's lighting them up on the feet for the last 2 rounds, just busting them up. Renat maybe lands a couple of jabs in there because he's obviously not going to get, blanked out there, 50 shots to nothing. He'll land a couple jabs, but he's getting kicked in the leg. He's getting punched in the head. He's ripping it to the body. He's forcing him up against the fence. He's getting some control time of his own, and somehow he doesn't get the win. I've never seen a worse robbery in the UFC. Some people might say it's some other ones because it's not a high-profile fight. It's literally the first fight on the card. But I guarantee you, if you just go fight for fight, 15 minutes, who had a worse robbery, you're not going to find one worse than Leal Fakradinov. It was insane. And once you see that, too big to rig. That's what we got to do.
Well, here's the thing. So I show up to Alex's about 10:15 a.m. I get through the door. I got to take a dookie. So I pop into the bathroom, poop. I come out of the bathroom, and because I'm driving up a 2-hour drive. I'm drinking coffee. I haven't pooped yet, so I come out. I'm like, gotta go. I'm gotta go bathroom bed. So I get into the bathroom there, take a dookie, come out, and it's like almost the end of round. The round 1 ends when I'm coming out, and then round 2 starts, and me and him are sitting there, and the tweets pop up on the screen, and it's like Aaron Bronstetter. It was like 10-9 for Leal, clearly round 1, and I go, well, Alex, Aaron Bronstetter, that means literally next to fucking nothing for me. Like that pencil neck dork, literally it means absolutely nothing. He's going to the polls with a fucking white dudes for Kamala t-shirt on for sure. So Aaron Bronson's opinion means nothing to me. The tweets they let through during the broadcast, they need to check, fire, and not give references to whoever is in charge of whoever's tweets get on the board. I mean, fuck Steve-O, fuck Theo Vaughn, fuck Aaron Bronstetter. We don't need to hear from them about shit. Kevin Iole, fucking another old white dude for Kamala. We need to stop letting these people tweet and show them on the screen during the fight. Let them tweet, but stop showing it during my broadcast. I can mute Paul Felder. I can't mute the fucking opinions of these journalists that pop up, right? So that didn't really mean much to me. But then I start watching round 2, and I'm like, it looks like Fakradinov's losing, Alex. And he's definitely not getting a submission, which is I had a little sprinkle on him by submission at like plus 900. So I go, all right, well, let's go get some beers real quick. So we walk out. We leave to get beers. And I'm like, yeah, a couple parlays might die with Fakradinov. No worries. I come back in. They're all still alive. I'm like, I knew Aaron Bronstetter didn't know shit. But it turns out, based on my opinion when I left to go grab the beers, it was clear to me that he was losing, at least through round 2. I didn't see round 1. But know-it-all dipshit Aaron Bronstetter thought he won round 1. So, hats off. He must have been right. So either way, no worries. You got to bet on corruption at times. You got to go, okay, Leal, like the corruption. I was thinking when I watched the fight, I go, well, Leal, he's making his debut, and he looks like he was outside of the USADA testing pool for a long time and is now in the UFC.
Ooh, that back knee was some shooting out red flags from each of those little back knee dots.
In 1 to 2 years, we fade the fuck out of Leal because he's.
And now Bruno Ferreira looks like not the same guy.
we will definitely get to him. I mean, the guy who fought RoboCop is when in his debut was a much more inflated than the now. I looked at Bruno Ferreira when the fight started. I go, this ain't the guy I thought I was betting on. But either way, we'll get into that. I have some screenshots to show you guys for that fight. But Alex, your thoughts. We get back.
My thoughts. The University of Colorado Boulder is now bowl eligible. Dan the Bitman, all he's done is talk shit on Deion Sanders. Deion Sanders in his second season with Colorado, now 6-2 as a program. Colorado hasn't had 6 wins in the last 10 years. Go fuck yourself, Dan. You suck. Deion Sanders is the man. We're going to go, with this new 14-team playoff, we might fuck around and find our way into a 14th seed. We might fuck around and find our way into the college football playoff and then get blown out by Georgia. But that's besides the point. The University of Colorado back to being the football school that, the program that John built was what we all needed to get behind. And Brendan Schaub was part of, the foundation of the University of Colorado Boulder football and their greatness. So glad
any of size.
Glad to see we're back on top. Glad to see we're going to be playing in a bowl game this year. And, we have a chance of winning the whole damn thing.
It's that's your takeaway?
So
Penn State football undefeated, ranked in the top 3. That's all I got to say about that.
You didn't even go there.
That's all right.
So, all right. We had a great time, Alex and I, watching the card. There were a lot of great fights I want to touch on. But first, let me talk to you guys about my winning parlay. I'm going to share my screen. I'm going to show you guys the screenshot. I'm on quite a hot streak. I really it can't be underestimated how good I am at gambling. If you take a look, can you guys see this?
Yeah.
Okay. So this was the parlay that I won on. It was my most confident parlay. It was a parlay I placed in my home state before I went down to Pennsylvania. So it was one of the original ones I placed early in the week. It was my most confident picks, right? The ones that I was most confident in. 5 legs plus 1,000. Ismail Nurdayev was number 1. After Bruno Silva's performance against Wyman, no faith in him whatsoever. Then you got Shara Magomedov. And again, Dan, right? It comes down to betting on corruption versus me thinking, okay, hey, in a close, sloppy fight, they're giving it to fucking Magomedov in Abu Dhabi. Point blank, period. And just the corruption around Armand Petrosian didn't learn his lesson getting poisoned going to Brazil. Now he's fucking coming to Abu Dhabi. It's hey, dumbass, maybe wait till UFC Armenia or some shit. I don't know.
You got to do something.
Lerone Murphy, to me, that was obvious. But I took him by decision in some other bets. But the thing is, because that was even more obvious to me, Dan Ige, I thought, won that fight. I'll be honest with you guys. I kind of thought Dan Ige won. Or not won, but I wouldn't have been surprised if he got his hand raised at the end. Hamza Chimaev by KO or submission. I really, in other parlays that you'll see later, I had him by Hamza Chimaev to win in round 1. And that was, to me, the best value play because I thought if he's going to get it done, it'll be that way. I also was flirting with him by submission. But, sometimes you just never know how the chips are going to fall. But you don't want to get greedy, right? So I did by finish. And then, again, Ilya Taporia, same thing. He took Max Holloway down in that first round. Part of me was thinking, Ilya's a smart guy. He might be bluffing this knockout thing, and he might take Max down and strangle his little ass. So I played it very safe with this one. $100 to win 1,166.47. Easy 1,000. Really triumphant, really glorious. But this is the one that is pretty crazy, right? So check this out. It's a Hanat Fakhretdinov, Nurdayev, Bruno Ferreira, who I had no idea was off the cycle, or allegedly. Ibo Aslan, who, no worries. He was an underdog. I guess I missed the line a little bit when I made this bet. Shara Magomedov, Lerone Murphy, Hamzat to win in round 1 at plus 270. Ilya by knockout, plus 185. Guys, this was a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. This was an 8-leg parlay. This was a $50 free bet that would have paid $10,000. if Bruno Ferreira had won.
And he had moments.
And he had moments. He almost knocked him out in round 2. I mean, I'm not mad about it at all in any way, shape, or form. I love that I'm circling the wagon. Like one of these things is going to pop one of these days. But I honestly, it just made me kind of even more confident in placing some of these longer shot kind of bets and finding my little spots. I think you got to do, stable money line picks that are south of minus 300 combined with a couple props that you're really confident in. And that's the formula, right? You stack like four or five, stable money line picks, and then you sprinkle in a couple really sparky props that you're just like, I'm feeling this, and
I've got some good news for you. I've got some pretty sexy props for this weekend coming up.
I love it. Dude, honestly, I have some amazing picks this weekend. I mean, this is I feel like I'm seeing everything, and I love the value on some of my picks. So I can't wait to break down this card that we're about to break down. So those were my picks, guys. You also want to know I did check in with Robert Whitaker, and he's doing just fine. He's in high spirits. Rob Whitaker is doing just fine. He checked in with me. He sent me this picture. Everything's good on Rob Whitaker's end. So here's the thing, guys. I come on this show and I say, Rob's getting ran through, just like I told you that Jessica Duplessis was going to knock him the fuck out, right? Remember that. Jessica Duplessis, 3-1 dog, 5-1 by KO. I came on this show and I told you Rob Whitaker is getting knocked the fuck out by Jessica Duplessis. Bang. That happens, right? Win a shitload of money on that. Then I also tell you Ilia Topuria is going to knock out Alexander Volkanovski. He does. And if you take this show back a couple years, when Alex was trying to organize the fantasy kind of league thing with the point system where we draft a team and throughout the year, they get points if they get a ranked win, they get points if they get a title fight win, they get points if they... I drafted Ilia Topuria years ago to that team before he fought fucking Bryce Mitchell. You know what I mean? So I've been high on Ilia Topuria for a very long time. I said 2 weeks ago, Ilia Topuria is going to crack Max Holloway.
And you know what? If we're talking revisionist history, I think one of us had Khamzat Chimaev too. And guess what? This was the first time he fought in 2 years. So,
not me.
I think it was Dan.
I don't think any of us had him. But here's the thing. I came on this show. I make these big, bold picks. I go against the grain. I know it seems like I'm not going against the grain when, him to win by finish or knockout are really like small plus money, or even to win by finish, favored at odds. But if you think about the public perception and what everybody's saying, everybody's claim they must have just not bet it, right? Because everyone's claiming, the value's on Max, Max, how the fuck's he an underdog? This is disrespect. Oh, Max Holloway, he's gonna school him, MMA Twitter, as I call the community that loves the Poiriers of the world, the Wonder Boys of the world, the Whitakers of the world, the Holloways of the world. I call them the protect this man at all cost tribe, the team of people who just sort of live in the past and just like love these guys like they love their teddy bear at night. It's like those are the people I always fade. I always bet on them to be crying because this is not a nice guy sport. This is a sport that is unforgiving. This is a sport where karma is a bitch. And this is a sport where if you take 2,000 strikes to the head, it doesn't mean that you have a great chin anymore. It means that you're fucking due to get your coconut cracked. Max, I predicted that you were going to get your coconut cracked. I knew that was going to happen. I bet it. Ilia Topuria is such a savage. So happy to see it. Alex was so sad. I mean, I was gloating. I was dancing.
I went to sleep as soon as you left. As soon as you walked out that door, I went right to bed. Like, I was just like, I've had enough hurt for one day. I think I'm ready to call it quits. Let's just sleep on it a bit. Oh, man. And you're a Hawaii boy. You lived in Hawaii.
I am a Hawaii boy. I'm a true Hawaiian, and at the end of the day, I am a Max Holloway fan too. But at the end, you have to in this gambling game, you have to kill your darlings. You have to be willing to kill your darlings. You have to be.
Illy is one of my darlings. He's cute. He's funny.
He ain't a darling.
He really ruined Max in the pre-fight press conference. He was destroying him with all this and all that. It was hilarious. He said, brother, ask him in English. He only speaks English. He's too dumb. He doesn't know how to speak any other language.
Max was talking shit on him for not understanding stuff in his Brett Okamoto interview. But
that was hilarious.
What Ilya does is he makes these fights interesting for everybody, and he gives his opponents an opportunity for a big, huge moment if they do overcome him.
And he's respectful in victory every time.
Every damn time. And what he did for Volkanovski was a true gentleman move.
He should not be fighting Volk next. I do not
Look,
want to see that fight again.
I think the same thing happens, guys. I think the same damn thing happens. I mean, maybe he wins by decision the second time. Maybe Volk's able to kind of play it more safely. And, he's a smart fighter. I think he would treat it with the problem. I think it would look a lot like Izzy versus Rob, too. You know what I mean? Where Izzy knocked Rob out twice in the first fight, really dominated, blasted him. And then in the second one, he wins, but it's by decision. I think that's exactly what will happen with Ilya and Volkanovski. So I'll be taking him to beat Volkanovski by decision if they fight again. But Ilya is a crazy son of a bitch. Smart dude, gifted, talented, real deal. My favorite fighter in the UFC right now, my favorite active fighter is Ilya Taporia. I mean, he's the one I get up for, the one I get excited to see, the one I have faith in. He's my modern day, like Anderson Silva, BJ Penn, George St. Pierre. Like, to me, he's the real deal. He's like the guy that gets me excited as a fan for his interviews, for his pre-fight, for his mentality. He's got the winning dynasty mentality. That's what I like to see with Ilya. So, and Khamzat, when he's on, and when he comes and shows up, he does remarkable things. Granted, I think Rob was kind of compromised. He said he's had trouble with his teeth and his jaw and shit like that since he was a kid. And then he said he also got his teeth pushed back in the Driscus fight. So either way, I don't think it really makes a difference. I saw a picture of Kevin Holland after Khamzat squeezed his fucking lights out, and his eyes were fucking bloodshot. A lot of people are saying that's from the squeeze. I think Kevin Holland was just smoking on that gas after the fight. You know what I mean? That's why his eyes are so bloodshot, but as he's wont to do. But no, I was tremendously happy with the card. There's some other fights I think we should talk about, but yeah, the story of my night was, those 5 winning me 1,000, and then, I even listen. I
thought Max was winning before the knockout. I thought Max was doing really well, fighting super well, but he was getting traps set up, and
I took a hedge play on Max at plus 230 before the fight started. I just said, look, I'm not going to fucking walk out of here with nothing at the end of the day. I'm going to hedge out a little bit. I'm going to win 1,100. I'm going to throw 100 on Max. Threw $100 on Max for him at plus 230 right before the fight started. By the time round 3 started, the fight was a pick'em. And Ilya, at one point, I'm watching the live odds on my phone. At one point, Ilya becomes the underdog at one point in that fucking fight. So, and that doesn't mean that he was losing the fight or anything like that. But Max threw 200 strikes in the first 2 rounds.
I believe the scorecards had Max down, but I thought Max was winning personally.
I thought Max might have. I mean, listen, I thought it was very close the first 2 rounds. I thought Ilya probably won the first round, and I thought Max could have maybe won the second round. Or I don't really know. It was very close. I thought, depending on how you're judging it, the volume of Max could have been something they were looking at. Also, he's got to always wonder with these judges. Like, sometimes they just look at it with like the fan favorite gets overpowered in their mind when they are seeing him have the grade on a curve sometimes, right? So it's like, I kind of was thinking, hey, maybe Max is up 1 or it's 1-1, and at the very least, I thought if it continues to go if the fight continues, I was like rounds 4 and rounds 5, Max is probably, I would favor him to win those rounds if he's still around in rounds 4 and rounds 5, right? So I was starting to think, I'm like, you know what, Max, Ilya didn't, I don't know. I was starting to get a little bit nervous in round 3, but then Ilya calmed my nerves right away. So, there's some other fights I think we should probably touch on. Jeff Neal got the knockout. I threw him in a parlay. Jeff Neal by knockout, Murphy by decision, Ankalaev by finish, Ilya by KO rounds 1, 2, or 3. $20 bet to win $1,418. So I would have been up another $1,418 if Ankalaev had any gumption whatsoever, any sense of urgency whatsoever, and was able to finish Rakic. If he was able to listen to the fucking UFC matchmakers who told him, you got to win to get a title shot in spectacular fashion, I thought he gets into the ground, strangles his ass, right? So that was my fumble there, but I would have been up another $1,400 if he was able to get the win by finish.
Whitaker has the shrunken head from Beetlejuice. That's why his jaw broke so easy.
His head is too small. Yeah. Some other, so.
Oh, Luke, Oralby versus Rebecca, probably one of the best fights I've ever seen in my life. That was blood and guts war. We come on this podcast every week and tell you neither of these guys wanted to be there. And we see guys weekly that don't want to be there, that take the early way out, that look for any possible way to throw in the towel without throwing in the towel. Kevin Holland comes to mind. You know, Orlby had every chance to take a way out. So did Rebecca. Neither of them did the entire time. They fought to the end. Blood and guts war. That fight was sensational. One of the best fights I've ever seen.
Fight. And I actually placed a little small money line bet on Rebecca, even though I picked Orlby on the show. I kind of started to change my mind just because I'm like, Rebecca's getting disrespected here. These odds
Legendary
are crazy.
Polish power.
And I have all the respect in the world for Rebecca. And, you know, he did, I believe, win that fight. And, Orlby was hilarious. Me and Alex were laughing at the fact that after the fight was over, Orlby looks at his coach and is like, How did I lose? And it's like, dude, you look like fucking Hamburglar. Like, what the hell? you got fucked up. Like, you're destroyed. The only damage Rebecca had was from the headbutt, you know? And granted, like, Orlby had some success, but if you're grading on damage, he got fucked up bad in many different areas. Was getting, you know, even when he had success in the same rounds he had success, Rebecca had similar, if not greater, success.
Look at the tests this week. Look at the test this week, though, because I know legendary Polish power is legendary and all, but that Polish power looked like it had a little acai involved in it.
Hey, no, maybe who knows? Who cares? But I thought it was a fantastic fight. It would look like those guys look like they were in a fucking horror movie. I told Alex, I was like, these guys are fighting like they are on a fucking island that is burning to the ground, and there's one rowboat left, and it only will fit one of them. You know what I mean? Like, they're fucking fighting like to the death. I mean, and in a way that was like something out of a movie, but not like a choreographed fight movie, like a movie that's trying to be like a real fight. You know what I mean? Like a cowboy fucking, like, I'm gonna gouge your eye. If they could have gouged eyes, they would have gouged eyes. Like, it was crazy. Love that fight. Shara Magomedov, crazy cool knockout. Even cooler to see that he practices and drills that, and that wasn't just some sort of like wild, you know, random thing like that. There's so many videos of him practicing that move, even in the open workouts the week before. So I thought that was cool.
He tagged Nina Drama with it like 3 days earlier.
Yeah,
square in the head.
Knocked your fucking eyelashes off her. So yeah, I mean, Ibo Aslan, I thought he had a great performance. You know, Mark not so goodard. He's kind of a pussy when it comes to this shit at times. Like, let the fight go. What do we do? I honestly kind of want to give him a little bit of a break, because at the moment he came in, the guy like went limp for a second, and he kind of then came in, and then he popped. Like, it was kind of like you're going off reactions as a ref too. So, but either way, I mean, there wasn't much protest from Sequeira. So, yeah, happy to have
people were calling for the ref to stop the Orlby fight, but like, I don't know in what world he wasn't doing exactly what you're supposed to do when you're supposed to do it to get back to your feet and get back to a point of like advantage. And, you know, the guy who you're speaking of, I forget his name exactly, Quartiquera or some shit like that. He wasn't fighting for a better position whatsoever. He was shelling up. He was just waiting for nothing. He was waiting for exactly what happened. So, you know, you can say what you want, like, but people were calling for Orlby to get stopped by Rebecca when he is literally doing the proper technique to get back up to your feet, baby, stand up, blocking here and there, you know, getting back, cutting off the hands, getting back to a position of advantage again. But yeah, that totally reasonable stoppage. But you skipped over Jeff Neal. Jeff Neal, way too easy.
Yeah, I touched on that. And I don't care what people want to say about the injury. He was beating the fuck out of RDA. Good pick on your part. I kind of changed my mind a little bit when I was sitting there with you live, and I wanted to throw some of my blackjack winnings around. So I did take a little parlay, like I said, with Neal by knockout. Shout out to Matty Betts, Neal by knockout, Hamza by submission, and Nurdayev by decision.
Matty Betts, my lord and savior.
$100 bets win $100K. That's pretty impressive. So yeah, really great card. Chris Barnett, fat ass. Love him though, but you know, really sad performance. It was the tweet of the night was Conor McGregor as Barnett's walking out of the cage. McGregor like posts it and goes, Daniel. Just talking shit on Cormier just for being Khabib's friend. Like that was perfect. Yeah, overall Paul Felder, you said when you fought in your last fight that you needed to be home with your daughter and you couldn't keep leaving for long stretches of time. I just want to know, how long is that flight to Abu Dhabi, Paul Felder? I mean, where was she? Did you bring her with you to Abu Dhabi, or did you leave her at home? I mean, how many dates a year are you doing? How much more? I want an audit on Paul Felder's time. I'm calling for an audit on Paul Felder's time. I want to know if he is spending more time doing these commentary gigs away.
Well, Luke, you don't understand.
He was when he was a fighter fighting twice a fucking year. I want to know.
Luke, when he was a fighter fighting twice a year, he had to go to Cowboys Ranch to train with, world-class Cowboy Cerrone,
and
getting
Cowboys
drunk.
Ranch
And
might end up being the next, P. Diddy Palace if you if you're in the know and if you have
either P. Diddy Palace or Waco, Texas. I don't know which one of the two, but something's up on that ranch.
Yeah, it's like these guys like Anthony Smith, Paul Felder, who, have to leave their family to go train somewhere else than where they live. Like, okay. Yeah, that's what's, nothing to see here. Nothing to see here. I get it. Yeah. I leave my family for 7 hours on a Saturday. I get grief. Paul Felder goes to Abu Dhabi. Apparently, that's fucking more manageable than fucking. He's there for how many days? I mean, how many days are you in Abu Dhabi to do this commentary gig? How many? Because Paul Felder only gets called to do the ones nobody wants to do, or the long flight ones, right?
Why the fuck did they have Bisping at the weigh-in show to then put Paul Felder in on? If we wanted an idiot who just wanted to talk about striking, why not have Bisping come in? Because Paul Felder is like,
one eye and Magomedov's there. It's like, put Bisping in.
And on top of that, like, you have a dumb Philly accent versus British accent, both of which don't know a single fucking lick about wrestling, both of which only want to see the guy stand and bang and will favor that guy regardless. Like, why don't we have the one-eyed bandit Michael Bisping commentating on this fight? Instead we have Paul Felder, who was never top 10 ever.
Yeah.
His biggest credit is he beat Charles. He was the last person to beat Charles Oliveira. You know how many wins Charles Oliveira had to go on before he got a title after he lost to Paul Felder? 13. So go fuck yourself. And he had to get 13 wins in a row to even have to sniff a title shot after losing to Paul Felder.
That's how bad they thought Charles Oliveira was.
Yeah.
And when Khabib lost his opponent, he at UFC Brooklyn, Paul Felder wanted to fight Khabib, and they told him, no, you're too low ranked. So they gave it to Al Iaquinta, his opponent. That will check out if you research that. They were like, you're too low ranked to fight Khabib. He will kill you. We're going to let Al Iaquinta fight Khabib instead.
The realtor.
The realtor who lost a boxing match to Khabib. Khabib didn't shoot one takedown in that fight. He fucking outboxed Al Iaquinta. He was like, you know what? Al's taking the fight on short notice. I'm gonna Max Holloway him. I'm gonna give him a chance. You know what I mean? I'm gonna just hey, Scout's honor, Paul. We'll do boxing, and Al Iaquinta, and he still lost. And I love Al Iaquinta, but it's like, come on, should have won that for America. Should have won that for New York. Should have won that for our country, and he didn't.
I gotta say, not
as bad as Justin Gaethje, who got choked out unconscious after tapping by Khabib, and then Khabib dragged his nuts across his face in front of his mother. That is a fact. Go watch the tape. And Justin Gaethje did all that with the words "death before dishonor" tattooed on his body, yet he tapped, then passed out. Something Holly Holm never did. Something Holly Holm never fucking did. Holly Holm went out punches
till the end.
Holly Holm went out punching. Justin Gaethje, a man with "death before dishonor" tattooed on his body, actually tapped to a choke that Khabib gave him out of pity instead of breaking his arm into a million pieces, which he definitely would have tapped. He was like, I didn't think he would tap, so I didn't want to armbar him and break his arm in front of his family. Meanwhile, he puts him in a choke. He's tapping like a fucking typewriter. And then he gets his Khabib's nuts dragged across his face in front of his mother and father with "death before dishonor" tattooed on his body. Justin Gaethje, you should be ashamed of yourself for that. And what? If not, be ashamed of yourself for that. What's your counter argument, Justin Gaethje? Well, you never made the walk. You never did anything in this sport. I know. I'm just saying you should think what I'm saying is true based on your experiences. I'm not even saying that I have the right to think it. I'm saying you should think it. And you do. And deep down you do.
I've got 2 more points about this card, and I got to piss before we get into the next one. Barnett, super, super fat. Victor Hugo, very, very valiant effort. Silva, get him out. Get him the fuck out of the sport. Get him out of the UFC. Get him back fighting Thiago Santos and PF Bellator, whatever the fuck it's called, and get him away from my sight. I don't want to see that guy ever fight again. And Leal got robbed. Be right back.
All right. So we'll get into UFC Edmonton. I love this card. There are so many spots. There are so many fucking interesting areas that we can tackle here. There's so much to break down, and we're going to break it all down for you guys. But real quick, in the comments, let us know how you did gambling. Let us know what you won, what you lost, where you stand in your year so far. Obviously, I'm up 138 units. Dan is down 82 units. Alex is down 60 units. If you took both of their losses, added them together, and doubled it, wouldn't even be how much I've managed to win this year. So I'm the king. I've always been the king. I've taught these guys everything they know. I'm the one who started all this. I'm the trendsetter. I'm an Aquarius. So there's a lot to love about me. That's what I'll say. So, okay. So, with that, let's go through UFC Edmonton. I guess this is going to be UFC Edmonton, 14 fights. By the way, just real quick, on the night, I went, well, how many fights were there? I went 1, 2, 3, 4, 13 fights. I went 9 out of 13. My lone losses were underdog Alexander Rakic, underdog Rafael dos Anjos, Oral By, who, like I said, I changed my mind on and actually did bet Rebecca, Bruno Ferreira, who cost me $10,000. Every other fight I won. Ilya Topuria, Hamza Chimaev, Rowan Murphy, Shar Magomedov, Kennedy and Chukwi, Farid Basharat, Hanat Fakhrdinov, Ibo Aslan, and Ismail Nurdayev. I gave you those picks on this show. You're welcome. Alex, the only 3 picks he got right. It'll be easier to just start there. Kennedy and Chukwi, who was Shelby certified. Jeff Neal, Jeff Neal. Alex picked Jeff Neal. And Lerone Murphy. Other than that, Alex was ice fucking cold. 3 out of 13.
Bro, that means you picked 10 underdogs or 9 underdogs. There's only 1 underdog win.
A lot of Alex's picks seemingly are like
It was going to be boom or boom.
Silva, Carlos Leal, Victor Hugo,
who won? Who fought valiantly.
Trozian, that's fine. Rakic, that's fine. Whitaker, Max Holloway, Dan, you the only one you look like you went 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. You went 7 out of 13. 1, 2, 3, 4.
Over 500.
Yep, 7 out of 13 for Dan. He picked Topuria, Magomedov.
That's all right. Why are we bringing up old shit? Let's get on to the next week.
No, I just confused myself because I'm like Magomedov.
Magomed, one of my favorite comedians ever. Magomed.
So before we break down this week's card, I got a special surprise. Very special surprise. So we have sort of an unofficial sponsor, sort of a sight unseen sponsor, somebody who I don't believe has watched the show, but they're sending us some stuff. And this is like a true sponsor. This isn't like a give you money, sponsor. This is like a give you stuff that is actually going to help you do your job. So I'm going to no.
Jackson?
Shut up. I'm doing a bit, dude. I'm trying to be able to make a clippable clip here, and you're really fucking me up. So don't talk. Or you can talk.
Run it back. Take two.
Yeah.
All right.
So we got sort of like Alex, like you get. I said sponsor. So we have sort of like an unofficial sponsor. Basically, my brother-in-law, his girlfriend is a very famous athlete, and she is sponsored sort of by this company. And I saw that she had their product, and I was like, gimme. So this is something, it's a true sponsorship in the sense of like, you're a kid and you're a wrestler and they give you wrestling shoes. You're a kid, you're a basketball player, they give you basketball. They give you a basketball. This is going to help us with our gambling. So, Dan, that's why I asked for your address in the mail, coming to you, Alex, where you're going to get some t-shirts and you're going to get some product. No, this is not Zaza. No, this is not Zaza. This is Sasa. This is smelling salts, baby.
Oh, let's go.
So before we do the breakdown, this is shout out to Pegasus smelling salts. This one is called White Pony. You're gonna get some in the mail, boys, and as well as some t-shirts. Hope you're a large. That's what I told them.
Yeah, let's go.
So, little story about smelling salts. So as a joke, I got some smelling salts for my friend's bachelor party, and everybody, I bust them out. Everyone's like, oh yeah, smelling salts. First day. By day 2, it's yo, Luke, where the smellies? Luke, where the smellies? Yo, Luke, let me get them smellies. Yo, Luke, I'm about to go golfing. Let me get them smellies. I mean, this stuff works. This stuff is great. So I'm gonna shake it really good, and I'm gonna fucking do a little sniff here.
I'm gonna get addicted.
Breakdown. So I brought it to work. I gave it to my CEO. I was doing it before I did some work today, and everybody. If you're a red-blooded alpha male, you like the smellies. I remember I met an NFL player at a wedding, and I'm talking to him, and this is when I'm smelling salt curious, right? And I go, hey, you ever do smelling salts in the NFL? He goes, oh, every game. And I go, did you like them? Like, he goes, put it this way, if you had some right now, I'd do them with you. I was like, hell yeah. So that's all I need to hear. So let's test out White Pony from Pegasus Smelling Salts, our newest sponsor. Go ahead and go to their website, get some Pegasus Smelling Salts. I don't know, there's no like promo code. Just put in the notes or make it a gift and just say the fucking Perfect Parlay sent me. Just let them know. Oh, it made a sound when I clicked it open. That's good. All right, let's do it.
Woo!
Hey. My eyes are watering. That was really great. I'm gonna do one more because I got this nostril a little bit more than this one. I want to balance it out. So let's go. Hold on. Okay, that's enough.
I feel like you're doing like the equivalent of putting your toe in the water. You're not really doing much there.
No, I agree. We're good. We're definitely good. All right. My eyes are watering, and I'm ready to break down fights for you fine folks. I feel very lucid. Let's go. I do have to go pee, but I won't let the smelling salts go to waste. I'm going to do the first fight right now. Jack Shore versus Yusuf Zalal, baby. Yusuf Zalal, the Moroccan Devil. I'm not going to leave you guys fucking waiting, dude, on this one, right? Jack Shore is tough as fucking shit, but Yusuf Zalal is the man who got done dirty in his first UFC run. A lot of decisions, some split decisions, a draw, really close fights, high level of competition. Ilya Topuria, the champ, took him to a decision. Suwoo Choi, Sting, took him to a decision. Sean Woodson, the freak of nature, gigantic man, he took him to a split decision. The weight bully, Damon Blackshear, the monster, one of only a few twister chokes in the UFC or twister submissions in the UFC, was able to take him to a draw. Guys, I am, that was his 4-fight run in the UFC, 3 losses and a draw that sent him out. But then he goes finish in round 1, decision in boxing, round 2 KO in kickboxing, arm triangle, round 1, rear naked choke, and then is back in the UFC. So with boxing matches, first round finishes, kickboxing matches, he goes on a fucking tear outside the UFC from 2022 to 2023. 5 fights, including kickboxing and boxing matches. Gets in there against Billy Quarantillo and breaks Billy Quarantillo, beats him in the striking, chokes his ass out in round 2. Absolute, beast. Then he goes in there against Jarno Aarons, chokes him out in round 1. We're seeing the Yusuf Zalal we should have seen all along. I love Yusuf Zalal. Give me Yusuf Zalal to fucking smoke Jack Shore. It's going to not be fucking competitive. Yusuf Zalal, this ain't going the distance. I'm taking Yusuf Zalal by club and sub. Yusuf Zalal piecing him up on the feet. Darce choke after that. If Jack Shore's still there to get choked, he'll get choked, but he might just get knocked the fuck out. Yusuf Zalal by the Moroccan Devil. One of my
Give me some of what he's having. Apparently it's on the way.
Baby. It's on its way.
I think that's too dangerous. I don't know if I can get involved in something of that nature.
Gaming is going to improve your Rainbow Six game tenfold. Dan's computer just died.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah. So, all right. the smelling salts are on their way. And here's another note: the man who is the founder of this company, who I'm connected with now, and we're going to be talking a lot.
Is he a veteran?
Not a veteran, but he told me that he used to own a gym with one Travis Few. Remember Travis, spelled Wolf, Travis Wolf, I believe it's pronounced Few, if I'm remembering correctly. Back in the early days, he fought in the UFC a couple times, fought in Bellator, fought in bare knuckle boxing, heavyweight. He fought Babalu, Hanato Babalu Sobral. Actually, you'll probably remember that.
My namesake.
So, yeah, he owned a gym with him. He says he has since sold his I don't know if I'm supposed to say this, but he doesn't he sold his piece of the gym or whatever. He doesn't own it with him anymore, but he knows the guy, good guy, wrestling coach in the area. He's from Minnesota, so shout out the Minnesotans. But yeah, I was
Vikings suck.
No, Vikings are doing good, dude. Vikings are doing really good.
They went 5-0, hit the bye. Now they're 5-2. What do you say? What say you now?
Lost a couple close games against good for
their division. Good division.
Good division.
Best division in football right now, the NFC North.
Some teams do well off a bye, some teams don't. I mean, the Cowboys are some bye guys. They usually do really well off a bye, but they got smoked recently against the Bills. Fucking crushed. What was the Bills?
I think the Bills.
It was the Niners. I just got Bills on the brain, but it was the Niners, and they got whooped.
Who'd the Bills play this week? They beat the shit out of the Seahawks.
Oh, the Seahawks. The Bills crushed the Seahawks, and I had them in a couple bets. Anyway, I got to go PP. Zalal versus Jack Shore. I know who Dan's going to pick, and it ain't Zalal, so go ahead and untroll.
No.
I am not taking Zalal. I'm taking. I don't know what the fuck Luke's talking about.
He's talking about me. He thought I was taking Shore.
He said untriple P certify it. No, I'm taking Jack Shore.
Oh wow.
I'm taking Jack Shore. I love Zalal. I don't think this is a good matchup for him. I think he's a great fighter. This is not a great matchup. Jack Shore has fought the who's who of this division, and Zalal, yeah, he's gotten a few wins, but not like the best wins in the world. Not wins against the guys like it's no Joe Anderson Burrito. Like, yeah, Jack Shore lost to him, but when is it shameful to lose to Joe Anderson Burrito? I guess after his last performance, maybe people think otherwise, but I'm going with Jack Shore here. Decision. Dan?
No. You couldn't be more wrong. We're going with Yusuf Zalal. We're going with Uncle Mo. We're going with momentum. We're going with the hungrier dog here. Somebody who faced death. And death in this circumstance is being cut from the UFC. I think he's coming back with a vengeance. He was kind of known as a decision guy, right? But he comes back. Jarno Aarons gets the rear naked choke. Round 1. Doesn't mess around. Gets in there. He's aggressive. The entirety of the round that he's in there. Gets the thing done. I expect maybe not so much a submission here because Jack Shore is a damn good grappling technician, but a lot of strikes. I'm predicting a lot of volume, a lot of pushing it up against the fence, make it dirty, make it ugly, be the tougher guy, be the Moroccan devil, and ultimately get the W and string together a couple wins in a row here. So I'm liking what I see out of Zalal, also coming off of a submission win over Billy Q, who I think Billy Q still got a little bit in the tank. So quality win, and I'm liking this momentum for Yusuf Zalal.
All right. Next up, we got Jamie Lynn Spears versus Ivana Petrovic. Call me Zoe Noe 101 because I'm going with Ivana Petrovic on this one. By who the fuck cares? Who cares about this fight? Don't give a shit. Could care less. Dog or pass. Yeah, give me Ivana Petrovic. Dan, what do you think?
I'm going to go with Jamie Lynn Horth, Queen of the North. I like her toughness. I like her strength. I like her aggression. And I think in women's MMA, that gets you pretty damn far. On the other hand here, we have Petrovic. She's got that loss to Dreadhead, Luana Carolina. I don't think that ages all that well. I think Jamie Lynn Horth can utilize a similar game plan and implement it in even better fashion than Luana Carolina, just being the stronger fighter. And Lukey's relapsing. He's going back to the smelling salts.
No.
Oh, I see the twinkle in his eye.
It says, do not add water. Tap and shake. Twist cap to open. Bring bottle to chest height. Raise 6 inches from the nose. Sniff and inhale. Meet your ancestors.
But yeah, that's my pick. Jamie Lindhorst. Queen of the North.
So I'm going with Horley as well. Same thing with Abu Dhabi. They didn't bring this chick Petrovic in to win in Canada.
Are they in Canada?
This is Canada?
Edmonton, Alberta, baby.
Oh, I thought this was Apex.
This changes literally nothing. Give me Petrovic. Canada is weak.
Canada is weak, but the women were the only two. The only two women were the two that won last time in Canada. All the men lost.
Oh, and don't worry, I got a tough Canadian bitch coming up.
All right. So, what do we got?
I say that as a term of endearment.
Chad Anheliger and Cody Gibson. That's the next one.
Give me Cody Gibson. Both old, but Cody Gibson has more and better experience. He's fought way better fighters in his career and has fought way more often in his career. Way more well-rounded, way more durable. Chad Anheliger, it seems like he's a little bit of a hammer, not a nail. And Cody Gibson is good at playing both parts. He can play the hammer for about a minute and then come on stronger than you've ever felt in your life. What are you sniffing? What are you sniffing your fingers with?
It was the bottle opener.
Yeah. What are you sniffing your balls?
My fingers smell like metal. I was like,
yeah, I bet. All right.
I'm going with Gibson as well. Not a fight I really want to bet too much on, but I like what I saw to Gibson. I think in his last fight, he won in front of his family. Kind of a robbery, I think. I actually don't really like what I saw, but he did get it done. He gutted it out. Yeah. That win was against Brian. No. Who am I thinking? Who did he beat? Maybe I'm thinking somebody else. I think I'm thinking of somebody else entirely, not Cody Gibson. But anyway, either way, they're two 37-year-olds, right? You don't really want to be taking Gibson at minus 175. I think I'm gonna like the under maybe. I don't really know. This is a fight I don't really want to bet. It's a big question mark for me. Chad Anheliger, a little bit more. I'm gonna go Cody Gibson by submission.
Yeah, I'm going all in on Gibson. Give me Cody Gibson as well. 7-inch reach advantage, significant height advantage as well, 4 inches there. And Anheliger is very one-dimensional, very stiff. I think he's got some power, but really not too much outside of a big right hand. So I'm going to go with a little bit more dynamic guy, bigger guy, taller guy, longer guy, Cody Gibson. And I'm going all in. I'm pushing all the chips in. Every damn parlay, Cody Gibson.
Well, I'm now a lot less confident in Gibson. All right. Next, we got Garrett Armfeld versus Sergey Saidi. Sergey Saidi, 10-2. Garrett Armfeld, 10-4. Really underwhelming performance last time out with Brady Heatstand by Garrett Armfeld, don't you think?
Yeah.
I mean, tapped quick. Lack of heart. I'm going with Sergey Saidi here. He took Ramon Tavares to a split decision after knocking him out on the Contender Series. It's a hard fight to have, second time in a row like that. Not a lot of motivation. I'm going with Sergey Saidi here. Kind of emphatically. Way more confident with him at minus 165 on Tapology than I am with Gibson at minus 175. Put it that way.
What's ashwagandha?
It's a powder. It's a root. It's a root that they make into a powder. It's has healthy properties, I heard.
Okay.
I
hear that all the, you were saying that these smelling salts would make me good at Rainbow Six. I heard that all the Rainbow Six pros use ashwagandha before they play. So I was just wondering if.
Nootropic.
Okay.
How would you compare it?
like Alpha Brain.
No, sort of more like in the realm of the magic mind, I would say. The mushroom, cordyceps, things like that. I don't know. I'm not a doctor.
All right, give me Seth Seide. I thought he deserved the nod against Ramon Tavares in the last fight. He's tough. He's well-rounded. I think he's more durable, more athletic, and he's just going to have a little bit more to offer than Armfield. I think it's going to be similar to the Gibson fight. Luke, did you say Gibson was gifted a decision last time, or were you talking about Chad Aguilar?
I don't know who I was talking about. I mean,
because Gibson arm triangled Brad Katona in his last fight.
No, you arm triangled Brian Kelleher.
That's what I meant. And lost to Brad Katona and Miles Johns.
No, I guess it must have been Engelhanger. It was the guy who fought in the Apex with his kids in attendance. His kid was like screaming the whole time. Yeah, I forget who it was, but if you guys know in the comments, let me know who I'm thinking of. But I remember being like, great, the kid's screaming, the judges are gonna fucking give it to him. It's too tight of a room,
Did you see the MMA Guru wants to
fight Jake Collier right now? Yeah, you're watching the World Series right now.
No, I'm not.
What are you looking at? What do you keep looking at?
Fox News.
Oh, even okay.
Did you see the MMA Guru wants to fight Jake Collier in the UFC? After he saw the Chris Barnett thing, he's like, all these guys are so fat. Give me Jake Collier.
Yeah,
I would have picked Jared Vendera out of all of them.
I think I stand a chance against some of these heavyweights, to be honest with you.
Not Jake.
I'm fast. And a lot of them can't wrestle. And I've taken down big guys before, Submitted.
I would rather fight Jake Collier than Parker Porker.
I would rather fight Jake Collier than a lot of guys in the UFC. I'd rather fight Jake Collier than Ilya Zaporia. I like the Guru's take where he says Ilya Zaporia could probably go up and like sleep fucking some of these heavyweights. Like,
yeah,
I mean, I believe so. I think Mighty Mouse disposes of some of the heavyweights just based on skill. Like, yeah. If they land one shot, he's out. But I don't think a heavyweight in the UFC could land a single shot on Mighty Mouse Johnson.
A lot of guys, if you land one shot, they're out. And it really just depends. Like speed beats power, timing beats precision beats. I don't know what did McGregor say that one.
Timing beats
speed.
Precision beats power.
Yeah. Timing beats speed. Precision beats power. So yeah. And I love McGregor, and I'm sick of him getting a bad rap. You know what I mean? He's getting it from all angles.
Stand your base.
Haters. These people just hate on McGregor. It's like he built the ground. He paved the ground that you walk on. You know what I mean? A lot of these guys. So I don't know why he gets so much hate. I like Conor McGregor. Hot take. I like Conor McGregor.
McGregor, Shaw, Rousey.
And everyone who's like, oh, he's always like, he pulled the girl's hair in front of his wife or whatever. It's like, guys, you don't know Irish culture, okay? And you also don't know billionaire culture, all right? Like, you think his wife gives a flying fuck?
I don't even think they're married.
No, he brought that fatty. He brought that fatty in the bathroom at the fucking Heat game like 4 years ago. Nobody gives a shit.
He's probably been cheating on her since he was on the prelims. He does
open relationship.
Oh, exactly. Open relationship. Not everybody's on the polyamory. Why can't let McGregor? I love the Patrice O'Neal, but he's like, the problem with me is I love my girl, but I have more love to give.
Hey, at least McGregor isn't going to islands and getting around into other debauchery. Let the most of his debauchery be doing coke, hanging out with Kodak Black, and pulling other women's hair.
No problem, mate, yeah? No fucking problem.
Okay. So, allegedly. Anyway, yeah, okay, so, I'm more mad at Dana White for calling that girl he didn't let in the Contender Series adorable. He shouldn't be calling girls adorable. I don't like that. They work for you, okay?
He calls fucking Yoel Romero a kid. He's 50 years old. he calls Joe Rogan. He's like, Joe Rogan's a great kid.
He's from Boston, it's not like how the streamers say it. Like it's not like FaZe Banks, or FaZe Rug, like where they're like Logan Paul's a good kid. It's just not like that speak. You know what I mean? It's more like Dana White's from Boston, so I don't know anything about the FaZe Band.
And
Connecticut
is right next to Boston, Luke.
Facts. All right, so what do we got here? Next fight on the next fight on UFC Edmonton is going to be my man, Sir Alexander Romanov versus Rodrigo.
Wait, is Saidi Triple P certified?
No, I'm taking Garrett Armfield.
Listen, let me tell you something, Dan. Garrett Armfield is JV captain. Garrett Armfield, J-fucking-V. Remember I said
JV captain too. Stars are aligning. I'm going with Garrett Armfield.
The Miracle. Lauren, the Miracle Murphy. Danny, the Miracle Batman.
All right. Alexander King Kong Romanov, plus 110. Take my money, please. Alexander Romanov is gonna fuck up Rodrigo Nascimento.
Oh no, hold on one sec. Timeout. Guys, the most fucked up thing about the card last weekend was after I'm sitting here sad as all hell, Luke wins his bet. He says, just give me my money. And he says, all right, now you do it. if Dan, you know TikToks, right?
Yeah.
Everybody in the room does it, and then but it's only Luke and I. So he's like just clapping for himself, and then he makes me say, just give me my money. And obviously he just doesn't clap because I don't get any money, and he gets all the money because all my bets lost and all his won.
I tried telling you Ilya Taporia rounds 1, 2, or 3 by KO. Ilya Taporia rounds 1, 2, or 3. I told you that, and you didn't want to take it. I also told you Leon Murphy by decision, and I was like, listen, keep it simple.
I took Leon Murphy by decision.
Because you listened, but then you stopped listening. You went deaf on me. Anyway, back to the card. Alexander Romanov emphatically, he's gonna fuck up Rodrigo Nascimento. He's gonna make it look easy. He's going to 5-point throw him. He's gonna throw him through the fucking air, smash him on his fucking ass. He's going to beat the fuck out of Rodrigo Nascimento. Rodrigo Nascimento cannot hold a candle to Alexander Romanov. He's going to get destroyed by Alexander Romanov. Alexander Romanov to get in there, close the distance, close his hands, throw him to the fucking ground, elbows, punches. He is going to get him out of there inside the distance. Alexander Romanov by finish, plus 110, even money. But this is no one else will tell you this. Hear it first. Alexander Romanov to win and make it look very easy. Your betting dollar will be safe with Alexander Romanov. That is my take.
I'm going with Alexander Romanov by submission. Romanov only has 1.5 rounds in him. And that's all Nascimento really has as well. Both these guys are gas artists. And I think Romanov is going to be a little bit more unrelenting than Nascimento. Give me Romanov by sub. Guys, I think I win all my money back this weekend. I think this is I get paid right before the card. It's going to be a bountiful, glorious meal. And I'm going to win all of my money back. I'm going to be back above 1,000. I'm going to be sitting here drinking winner's piss. And we'll see. Dan, what say you?
Romanov, nicknamed King Kong. King Kong, city of origin, New York City. Food of choice in New York City, pizza. Topping on said pizza is most likely pepperoni. Nascimento, pepperoni nips. King Kong going to be chewing on them pepperoni nips, making a nice little aperitif out of it. I'm going with Alexander Romanov, King Kong, snacking on them. Nice
New York City is a transient city, and Kong is, if you know anything, from Kong Island. Not he did transport himself to. Well, he was transported by Jack Black to New York City. So,
and meal of choice, why pussy?
This is why we can't go live. Do you understand? We're sitting there, we're watching the card. He goes, we got to start going live. We got to do these episodes live. And I'm like, you're the problem why we can't go live. You're the reason I have to edit shit out, not me or Dan. We can go live. You can't go live. He's like, no. And he didn't even remember that one time I had to edit him out after he did his little magic trick. He didn't even remember what he said. He didn't even remember. He's like, I did not. I was like, you said. And he's like, no, I never said that. I was like, yeah, you did. You did the magic trick at the one in the use. I don't even remember saying that. I was like, yeah, that's the problem, dude. That's the fucking problem. All right, so
It was a good magic trick.
Yeah, dude, I hit my 2-year-old with a magic trick the other day, and she literally, this is why you got to be a dad, right? And Halloween is coming up in 2 days. Last weekend, I saw some of my old college buddies. They were posting pictures on their Instagram. I'm 31, right? So these college buddies are 31. I'm turning 32 this year. My college buddies, they're posting pictures of them in their costumes, right? Like same guys I went to parties with in college, and they're posting pictures. They're dressed up in costumes, and I just so badly wanted to comment, "Find God." Like, how are you 10 years out of college, and you are still dressing up for Halloween, going to Halloween parties? Like, you can redo that shit when you're like a 50-year-old again. You know what I mean? But when you're in your 30s, it's not, you should be fucking only dressing up with what your kid wants you to be dressed up as. You're not going to pre-games. You're not going to fucking the bar. Like, I literally could all I could close my eyes and picture them all the guys sitting around on their phones, listening to this music and just like scrolling through their phones while they drink fucking beer, the same beer we drank in college, to go out to some bar and do dick all. Like, I was pretty disappointed to see that, to be honest with you. Some people might be like, oh man, I'm married, I got kids, and all my friends are having fun at a Halloween party. Couldn't be less jealous. Crazy. But anyway, so I did this magic trick for my 2-year-old, and she goes, eyes light up. She goes, how did you do that? I'm like, that right there, that's worth anything, that's worth any single man's best night is dwarfed by comparison to a 2-year-old being like, how did you do that?
And then of course you said a magician never reveals his tricks.
Of course. And much like our favorite movie, have you seen The Prestige yet?
No.
Dude, I'm telling you, man, this is I'm sure your wife is making
that's Hugh Jackman.
Hugh Jackman, Michael Caine, Christian fucking Bale, dude. Listen, I'm sure your wife is making you watch just the worst fucking movies all the time, the worst TV shows all the time. Sit her down, be like, I got a movie for us. If I told that to my wife, she would be like, oh my God, you want to watch a movie with me? Like, I'll watch anything you want, like anything. And you have this opportunity. I'm giving you The Prestige, dude. It is amazing. Okay. She'll probably hate it. I'll be honest with you. She'll probably but at least she'll be excited to do it, to watch it, and she'll fall asleep.
No. She's always like,
They always fall asleep.
I fall asleep during movies. I don't like movies, that kind of deal.
Let her fall. But dude, this one is fucking great. Guys, if you're home and you're watching this podcast right now, I need it. There's nothing on. There's nothing to watch. The Prestige is a great kind of Halloween-esque movie. It's mystery. It's magic. It's, it's got some Halloween. You watch The Prestige this weekend. That's your homework. Christian Bale, Michael Caine. Report back to me. Anyway, Trophy Certified Alexander Romanov. First podcast you're ever going to hear that on. Everyone wants to be too cool for school. They want to act like, oh, Alexander Romanov, he got kicked in the nuts and, against fucking
Spanish guy.
What's his name? Fucking Juan Espino. He wanted out. Shut. You get kicked in the nuts by Juan Espino. Okay, shut your ass up. He beat the fuck out of Juan Espino in round 1. Anyway, Charles Jourdain versus Victor Henry.
Yankees just hit a grand slam.
No.
Yeah. Now they're up 5-2.
5-2 though. Okay.
Bottom of the 4th. You got plenty of time.
I mean, they're gonna. I knew that they're gonna win. They're absolutely gonna win. Okay. Air Jourdain, Charles Jourdain versus Victor Henry. I know what you're thinking. Victor Henry just fought against Basharat last weekend. No, that's Victor Hugo. 37-year-old 135er Victor Henry. versus 28-year-old Charles Jourdain coming off a knockout loss to John the Flying Nerd Silva. Before that, split decision against Sean Woodson, the infamous split decision against Sean Woodson that Dan came out, swore on his mother's life that Charles Woodson won because Bruce Buffer fucking tricked him. He's like, I'm sitting outside. I'm already reserved. All my bets have lost to Charles Jourdain. I'm like, fuck. I walk outside. I'm sitting on the balcony of our Pocono ski house. Dan comes out. Luke. Eyes wide shut. He's like, Luke, Jourdain won. I'm like, no, he didn't, Dan. Shut the fuck up. I watched 90% of the fight. He didn't win. He goes, I swear to God. I swear on my mother's life.
No, I didn't preemptively swear by my mother's life. You said you swear your
Oh,
mother's
no, I did not.
life. Yes.
I did fucking not. I walk in, I see DC talking to Woods, and I'm like so astounded that Dan would have just like done that. I'm like, what the fuck is wrong with you, dude? He's like, no, I swear to God, they announced Jourdain the winner. I'm like, dude, you're fucked up, man. I'm like, but I was honestly, I couldn't even get mad. I was like, I'm more proud of you for like doing that. Like, that is hilarious that you would just fuck with me. I like you guys know me. I like fucking with people. I like torturing people. I like putting the knife in and twisting it and throwing salt in it. And ask Alex when Max Holloway lost. It was just me and him. There was no audience. I was just getting off on just tormenting him, But okay, so I'm taking Air Jourdain. Pretty easy pick for me. I mean, the only thing I don't like is that he got knocked out 3 months ago, but he's kind of dumb. He doesn't really give a fuck about that sort of thing. I'm going with the fact that he's 9 years younger. I'm going with the fact that he's taller. I'm going with the fact that he's coming down in weight. I'm going with the fact that Victor Henry has won a little bit too much. He's won a little bit too much. He's gotten a little bit too. Honestly, his number is about to come up. So this is a good pick for me. Air Jourdain all the motherfucking way. 6 ways to Sunday. Charles Air Jourdain to win, probably by decision.
Luke bets Jourdain every single time he fights. At this rate, he is down 1 fight on him, 6-7 in the UFC, 1 draw. I'm going to go with Henry here. Think Henry's going to get it done.
Hold on. I took Lando Venata against Jordan. I took Lando Venata. So that split my difference there. I know I took Lando Venata.
There's no chance in hell.
I did, because Groovy Lando can wrestle. I remember saying
Luke. Charles Jourdain lost to Lando Venata, didn't he? Like guillotine.
I took Lando in that fight. I took Groovy Lando Venata in that fight.
Groovy.
Hold on. Was I looking at Victor Henry and Victor Henry guillotined him? Groovy Lando. No, Luke. You took Lando Venata and Charles Jourdain won. So you're even worse. You're even worse off.
I see what you're saying. Okay. Maybe it was Juicy J then. Maybe I took Juicy J.
No.
Either way.
Anywho, I'm going with Victor Henry. Might not have the sexiest game, but he wills wins. He's going to be in there for 3 rounds. He's going to push, Jourdain to his limits. Jourdain's known to will, and he does accept bottom position. The best fight he had was against Crone Gracie, and Crone Gracie just pulled guard 3 times in a row and sat on his back for 15 minutes.
The best fight he had was against Andre Ewell when he Spartan kicked him at the end of the fight. That was sick.
Yeah, but if you remember that fight, Andre Ewell was also going through custody battles, right? According to John Anik. So you take that one with a grain of salt. I'm going with Victor Henry. Victor Henry by his heart. He's got a bigger heart. He's going to win this fight. He's not Canadian. He will win.
Charles Jourdain is going to kick his ass. More technical, Victor Henry. He's just like, I'm a little guy with a lot of heart, and I come forward, and I throw a lot of punches. Charles Jourdain is going to see right through that. He's going to be sidestepping, hitting them angles, being more technical, being more clean. I see Charles Jourdain all the way. And if he doesn't win, then it'll be fine, because then I could text Luke and be like, Luke, Charles Jourdain won. And so either way, I win. I'm going with Charles Jourdain.
He just sends me a picture with his hand on the Bible. He's like, Jourdain won. You got comments. I'm like, Dan, I'm watching it live. He's like, no, Luke, they reversed the decision. Behind. You must have paused or something. All right, next we got
it's like the Matt Serra versus what's his name? Din Thomas, where they announced it wrong outside, but then had to like tell them in the locker room that they fucked up the decision.
Is my camera not on?
Something's fucked up with your whole situation. But next up, we got Ariane Lipski versus Jazzy.
You know what? I gotta update my Google Chrome. It's telling me on the top right, new Chrome available.
Jasmine Juicevistius.
Learn how to use a computer, you fucking jackwad.
I got Jasmine Juicevistius by decision or submission in this one. I think it's going to be a bit of a war here, but Jazzy's going to be able to put on more pressure. Lipski struggles with wrestlers. And I think Jazzy's going to be able to will this one to victory. Luke, you mentioned it. I foreshadowed. Jasmine Juicevistius is my Canadian tough broad of the night. That is my MMA dogger pass dog of the night. So I'll take Jazzy Juicevistius.
Yeah,
Dan.
I'm gonna go with.
I asked Dan, not you.
Oh, sorry.
Taking Jazzy J as well. Too big, too strong, too talented, too aggressive. Lipski, the violence queen. You're the violence princess in this fight, okay? Jazzy J is the real violence queen. She's going to be the one getting it done. Minus 200 favorite. Normally, wouldn't like a price tag like that for a lady fight, but for this fight, I'll make an exception here. Going on all the parlays. Jasmine Jazz Too Vicious.
Dan, who is the true queen of the North? Jamie Van Horth or Juicevistius?
Jazz Too Vicious.
Okay.
I'm going with Ariane Lipski. I think I was really impressed by Jazzy in her Fatima Klein fight. Fatima Klein, who trains with Aaron Blanchfield, who fights on this card as well. I was impressed. You know, we watched some tape on Fatima Klein. She was impressive. I think that was just kind of a UFC newcomer thing. You know what I mean? Lights a little too bright. Jazzy J kind of spooked her a little bit. I think that the violence queen is going to prevail here.
You think this Klein has a future? This Fatima Klein?
I do. I think she has a little bit more of a future than she showed in her first UFC fight. Lipski, she has a past, right? She's only 30. She's 5 years. She's 5 years younger than Jazzy, but she's fought the who's who. She's been in the UFC a very long time. 6-6 in the UFC. I think she breaks even here. Carrie Silva, 18-4. She's a fucking beast, dude. And she fought her tooth and nail to a decision. That's not easy, and I think that she's fought let me see, how many fights does Jazzy have in the UFC? 5-2. Okay, yeah. To me, it's like 12 fights versus 7 fights. I think Ariane Lipski is going to get the win by hook or by crook. I don't know, but I'm just kind of feeling Ariane Lipski here. So I will not Shelby certified Jazzy J with them. I'm taking the Canadian girl earlier, Jamie Lynn Horth with Dan, but I will not join them on Jazzy J. I'm taking Lipski. All right.
Listen to this shit. I got DoorDash earlier, right?
Mm-hmm.
It didn't come with one of the things I ordered. And the woman asked me, she said, did it come with any of the correct pieces of food that you ordered? And I said, that question's irrelevant because without all of them, I don't want any. and she didn't understand that. She didn't understand that aspect. She's like, but you did order 2 out of the 3 things that you got. I told her, I said, but without the one ingredient, I really can't even eat this. I can't even eat this without the other thing. Like I'm going to. And guys, hand on the Bible. I threw the rest of the food away. I didn't eat any of it. I was being truthful. She didn't give me a full refund. Can you believe that?
You gotta go directly to DoorDash. You never mess with the fucking driver. You go directly to DoorDash.
I didn't fucking hassle the driver, my guy. I was talking to DoorDash support, of course.
Oh, you gotta tear up. You gotta say, "Keep me your manager." Escalate this. Escalate this. Escalate this.
I know.
What was the missing ingredient?
A McFlurry, of course. I can't eat chicken nuggets without dipping it into a McFlurry. That is literally impossible.
Well, the
Like,
McFlurry
if you,
was probably down. It always is down.
but it doesn't matter. You gotta tell me that we need to, it's like you gotta let me know that so I can be like, all right, stop at the Wawa, get a cookies and cream, milkshake, and we'll make do. Okay, we'll figure it out.
Yeah. You are not in a position to be dashing. You get in your car and you drive. You don't dash. You're not financially equipped to dash right now. You lost on Max Holloway.
Hell no, dude. I'm on DoorDash Supreme, dude. I actually get the food cheaper if I DoorDash it than if I go there.
Shit, dude. I like going and getting it myself. Bit of a hunter. You're more of a gatherer, I see. Okay, either way. Ayman Zahabi versus Pedro Munoz. Pick of the night, pick of the century, pick of the year. Ayman Zahabi. Ayman Zahabi's going to crush Pedro Munoz. Pedro Munoz is 38 years old. 38-year-old 135er. Lost to Kyler Phillips. We just saw how that went against Rob Font. I don't really think that Pedro Munoz can cut it. I don't think he's been able to cut it for 3 years. Give me Ayman Zahabi emphatically. Ayman Zahabi possibly to finish Pedro Munoz. But at plus 110, ain't going to get greedy. Ayman Zahabi money line. That's my pick.
Ayman Zahabi by decision. I think since he's been knocked out, we've seen him have a couple bumps in the road. He's been a lot more calculated in the cage. And like Luke said, Munoz, 38 years of age. And he's got a pea head. So he's going to get absolutely destroyed. Zahabi still needs to beware of the power. He's been knocked out in the past by a guy who was kind of just as old at that time. So hoping Zahabi gets it done. Zahabi by decision.
I guess you could say this is the Zahabi lobby. I'm going with Ayman Zahabi as well. He's going to get it done. This is one where you kind of got to look at the line and say, what's going on here? Because everyone at first glance would say, okay, who's a better fighter? Who had the better career? Pedro Munoz, Ayman Zahabi. You go, okay, Pedro Munoz, auto pick Pedro Munoz. But no. It's all about the timing. Okay, Zahabi, he's got a little bit of momentum. Pedro Munoz, he doesn't have devastating losses, but you can tell the wheels are falling off a little bit. The line would indicate that. At no other point in their careers would you get Zahabi at plus 110, that close to being a favorite in this matchup. But this is a new day. This is a new night. It's in Canada. I think he gets it done somehow, some way. Ayman Zahabi.
And I loved your line there about where there's a hobby lobby. That's really good. I like that.
Thank you.
Okay, so now we got Mike Malott versus Trevin 5-star Giles. I took a peep at, we record on Tuesdays now, so I took a little peep at Stat Diggers yesterday, and our sister show Stat Diggers, and Uncle Weezy, he said it best. He said Trevin Giles gets finished in spectacular fashion in his losses. When he loses, he gets finished, and he gets finished bad. And when Mike Malott wins, he finishes in spectacular fashion. So I'm going to go with that line of logic here. I think he's super embarrassed with his loss to Neil Magny last time out. Looked really good for the first 2 rounds. Got finished by Neil Magny. Bad look, but he's going to rebound here. This fight should be lined at minus 600. Mike Malott, but Mike Malott is south of minus 300. I'm taking Mike Malott, and I'm taking him by finish. Mike Malott to win by finish. Easy money.
Malott by sub. I'm taking Malott by sub. Enough said.
I'm not going to be so bullish to predict the way it's going to go, other than to say money line, Mike Malott.
And with that, we shall be certified Mike Malott, and we are in on the main card. It is time for another contractually. No, I'm kidding. It's time for another sniff of the salts. Made another noise when I opened it. I like that.
Now, question on this. Does this have an effect on your sleep?
We will see.
That was a good one.
You want to get the other one to even it out?
Yeah.
puke. Ooh, that was a lot closer than just your chest line. That was a lot closer to the nose.
Yeah, it was on your chin.
Yeah.
You ever molded it down here and on your chin?
Well, I got 6 inches from my chin to my nose, right?
No.
Man. Because I didn't have hair on my chest prior, but I do now. I'll tell you that. That'll put hair on your chest. Okay, so
Next up, we got Marc-Andre Barriault versus Dustin the Gardner in a war Stolfitz. I'm going to go with Marc-Andre Barriault by submission. Marc-Andre Barriault by submission or decision. I got a lot of subs on this card, and maybe I'm just addicted to sub props, but I think there might be a lot of subs on this card. I'm going with Marc-Andre Barriault. He's going to melt Dustin Stolfitz. Dustin Stolfitz stinks. Marc-Andre Barriault is unrelenting, and he will get the job done in this one.
Bro, the only time there's going to be submissions is if you have a fucking Dagestani destroying machine against an Australian guy. There's no more submissions in the UFC. Fucking Dustin Stolfitz, Pennsylvanian wrestling guy is not getting subbed, not by a Canadian Marc-Andre Barriault. He'll get the win. But if anything, it'll be by knockout, not submission.
Alex, Barriault, he's got 1 career submission win. 1. And it is against Jordan Wright.
Hey, I think that it's not outside of the possibility that Stolfitz taps and strikes.
I think they'll still call that a fucking...
No, that's a submission.
All right. Well, I think this is 2 guys coming up back way too soon after getting knocked out. Stolfitz's knockout was so bad. I mean, it was he caused nerve damage, I heard. So I'm gonna go with Barriault. I'm gonna go with Barriault as well. I think that we'll see as bad as people have said Dustin Stolfitz can be at times, I think we'll see a worse one here coming back way too soon off of a devastating knockout. Yeah.
But to be honest, he did have moments in that last fight where everyone's butthole was kind of clenched watching it because everyone obviously goes against Stolfitz every fight. But he looked really good. I might be nervous about this one. I don't know if I'll bet it, but I might let it.
It is definitely a fight I don't want to bet. But it's I think power bar by knockout. Yeah, that's my pick.
Yeah.
But I'm not betting it. You're totally right about that. Not really a bettable fight. Okay, Caio Machado, Brenson Hiberio coming off a knockout to that Ming Yang Zhang guy. That was a fight where I was really all over Hiberio. I thought Hiberio looked good coming off the Contender Series with a devastating knockout. I thought he was going to be able to knock out the guy from China, Zhang. Then he loses a majority decision to Magomed Gedzalulov, somebody who's 8-0, relative. Here's the thing. I'm going to keep it simple. I'm going with the underdog here. I'm going with Brenson Hiberio, the gorilla, to beat Caio Machado. Caio Machado, he is moving down in weight to light heavyweight, but he's not in great shape, and I don't even know that he makes light heavyweight. He last weighed in at 251. He's going to have a reach disadvantage. He stacks up similarly with the height to Brenson Hiberio. I don't think he's going to have any advantage coming down to light heavyweight. I think that the competition gets stiffer. If you lose to, Dontel Mays, you're losing to Brenson Hiberio. So Brenson Hiberio, don't know why it's an underdog odds here. I'm taking Brenson Hiberio. Parlay him with Ayman Zahabi. 2 easy picks in my opinion. So Hiberio all fucking day.
I don't know if it's easy. I'm kind of.
One guy's got 22 fights. One guy's got 22 fucking fights. The other guy is coming down from 251.
Could be good for him.
He's not getting any faster. He's just getting. I don't know. I don't see how you can take Machado here.
He's got a couple wins by armbar, so not good competition.
His brother Machado Gary is one of the best fighters in the UFC.
True. I'll go with the hot hand here. I'll go with what Luke says and take Brenson Hiberio. Not looking to bet this one, though. Sloppy fight.
I'm taking Machado. TKO. Neither of these guys have impressed. But I will say that I've seen more out of Machado in his fights than I have Ribeiro, and mostly just because Ribeiro gets finished in the first round every time I've seen him fight. And Machado has been able to stay in there with guys who hit a lot harder, maybe aren't as fast, but
before I forget, combined record of all Machado's opponents, 69 and 48.
huh?
The combined record of Machado's opponents, 69 and 48. So,
all right. What
a
about
lot of
Ribeiro?
losses, a lot of fucking losses.
What about Ribeiro? Do the math while I talk.
2 of his wins are against Li Ming. 11 and 14 the first time he fought him, 11 and 15 the second time he fought him. I mean, the guy didn't have any fights in between. He just beat up on the guy. He just finished him in the first round twice.
Yo, dig this stat, Uncle Weezy. How many? What's Ribeiro's? Do the math while I'm talking.
Oh, okay.
Going with Machado.
A lot of it's not available, I'll be honest with you. NA.
I had way higher expectations for both of these fighters coming into the UFC. Just going to go with Machado because I've seen more of his fights. He's been able to stay in there longer. And I think coming down from heavyweight, he's going to have a little bit more pop in those strikes. Give me Machado. Next up. Dan, did you break that one down?
57 and 33. 57 and 30. I mean, it's better, put it that way. His opponents' records are better than.
All right, fair enough. Well, next up, we got Derek the Black Beast Lewis versus Mataus Denise. Is that his name, Mataus?
Mataush.
Okay.
Mateus.
Or is that the guy at
no, you're thinking of the Mateus Deniz.
Yeah.
Johanata Deniz.
Yonata Deniz. Glory kickboxer. For me, guys, this is pretty straightforward. I think Derek Lewis is great, most knockouts in UFC history, and Deniz hasn't necessarily knocked our socks off in his fights. Lewis ain't going for no takedowns, and Lewis also struggles with high-level strikers. I mean, guys, Tai Tuivasa knocked him out. I'm going to go with Deniz here, just based off the fact that Lewis is not going for a takedown. This is the best possible top 10 matchup for him. Lewis has been on a bit of a skid. His only wins are Rodrigo Nascimento and Rodrigo Nascimento 2. I'm going to go with Deniz. I just think this is the best possible matchup for him in the top 10. And Lewis struggles with guys like Gan, Tuivasa, one-trick pony strikers who are a little bit more talented than him in the or not talented, but work harder than him and are a little bit finer with their strikes rather than just one shot kill type fellas. What do you guys think?
Absolutely. Deniz all day, all night. I think that people say Derek Lewis might show up as D1 Lewis and he might get a takedown. No way in God's green hell is he taking Deniz down. Deniz is the better striker. Sure, it's heavyweight. Sure, they're slinging fucking 4-ounce gloves. Anything can happen, but I think you're exactly right with your analysis. I think the line south of 200, minus 200 is generous. Deniz probably by finish to kick him in the belly, punch him, get him up against the cage, and just put on an onslaught. Could go the distance because only 3 rounds. But Lewis has openly said he doesn't want to fight for 5 rounds. When you don't want to fight for 5 rounds and you're ranked in the top 10, the UFC wants to get you out of that top 10. And Derek Lewis is the biggest and best vehicle they have for getting up-and-coming guys to the top 10, into the public eye. They want Deniz to be more of a name than he is, so they're giving him Derek Lewis. Derek Lewis would be happy as a clam to be fighting lesser opponents. And
then that's Pierre's first fight before he goes up to the heavyweight title is Deniz.
I mean, Derek's approaching 40. Granted, that doesn't mean as much in the heavyweight division, but I think Deniz swarms him, stomps him, and beats him pretty easily. I love anything minus 200 or better. So give me Deniz.
I'm on that Deniz Riz. We're going with Deniz. Yeah, I like everything you guys are saying about Lewis going down. UFC not liking Lewis in these kind of spots within the top 10. You got a glory kickboxer coming in, and when the careers fall off a cliff, it's a boulder going down that hill. So I liked it is here. I'll first look, of course, my ass went, oh, Derek Lewis, underdog. Oh, easy play. Not so fast. I'm turning a new leaf. I'm going to be a smarter gambler. I'm not just shooting from the hip here. I'm taking an educated approach, and I'm going to go with the unknown quantity to most people out there, the casuals as they're called. We're going to go with Deniz.
Deniz catches a ranking. Don't be surprised if Pierre's like, Chama, give me a fight before December. I want a heavyweight fight, so that way I can line myself up for a heavyweight title at some point.
They would never do that, but yeah,
they might. They let Anderson Silva go up and fight Forrest Griffin.
And that was to punish Anderson Silva because of his performances against Maya Latis. They wanted to.
I think he fought Forrest Griffin before his performances against Maya and Latis.
He fought. He fought James the Sandman Irving after the latest fight. He fought Griffin after the Maya fight. So. Don't ever quiz me on Anderson Silva. Who'd he knock out with the up elbow? Tony Fricklin. Outside of the UFC. Okay.
And his coach told him he couldn't practice that, and he started having his wife hold up a pillow, and he was doing it with his wife holding up a pillow.
Who taught him the front kick that he knocked out Belfort with?
Steven Seagal. Easy.
And he taught Lyoto the same thing. And he's been working with Pereira. Coincidence? I think not.
I had a deep conversation with Steven Seagal last time I was in Dubai.
Yeah, Anderson Silva looked like he started eating those burgers that he was looking at in that Burger King.
Oh.
He's looking good, though. He looks like Michael Jai White.
He does look like Michael Jai White. If you asked him, he would have nothing but good things to say about Michael Jai White. Michael Jai White fought John Jones in sparring, and let's just say, he did well.
I think you'd be surprised.
All right, next we got Rose Namajunas versus Erin Blanchfield. Erin Blanchfield, the fighting pride of New Jersey. Erin Blanchfield coming off that really not embarrassing, but really disappointing performance against Manon Fiorot, a fight where she went in there and had a learning experience on my dime. She went in there and did not shoot takedowns, did not try to get Manon Fiorot to the ground, struck with the striker and got beat for fucking 5 straight rounds. Did it with grit, went home to her coaches. Her coaches told her she did a good job. Aaron, I'm going to say you didn't do a good job. You did a bad job. Fighting's about protecting yourself and fighting to your opponent's disadvantages. You didn't do that. A fighter who also lost the decision to Manon Fiorot is Rose Namajunas. So common opponent there. I really I hope that Erin Blanchfield goes in there, takes Rose down, strangles her little ass. But part of me is really nervous about picking Erin here. I'm hoping that's just recency bias. I'm going to be picking Erin Blanchfield. It won't be on as many parlays as you might think it would be on with how high I am on Erin, how much I love Erin. But I will be picking Erin Blanchfield to defeat Rose Namajunas. She's a minus 125 favorite. I think that that surprises me. I would expect this line to flip by the time the fight comes. I think Rose has much more fan power, much better fights recently. I think once people start hearing the interviews and seeing the workouts and stuff, people are going to remember the old Rose and they're going to see those highlight videos and people are going to be betting Rose. So I would love the line to flip. I'd love to be getting Erin Blanchfield at like plus 130 here. She's minus 125. I don't love that. And I'm very disappointed how she fought Fiorot. I think that she's got some dumbasses around her that didn't get in her ear and get her a good game plan going into that fight. But I'm willing to forgive and forget if she's willing to forgive and forget. And we can make this thing work. And I'm taking Erin Blanchfield.
Also taking Erin Blanchfield, my MMA lock of the night. Namajunas is frail, weak-bodied, weak-minded, freezes in front of Dom mommy grapplers like Erin Blanchfield. And she's going to freeze in front of Erin Blanchfield, just like she did against Dom mommy grappler Cookie Monster, one by name of Carlos Esparza. I'm going Erin Blanchfield all the way. Luke, you were wrong. James Irving was actually a reward for Anderson Silva after unifying the Pride and the UFC belt against Dan Henderson. Forrest Griffin was after Talis Latis, but Chael Sonnen was the punishment for the two performances, Talis Latis and Damian Maia.
Interesting. Okay.
I'm going with with Blant. You have a comment there, Luke?
No, but I was gonna say, but he did fight Griffin after Latis then.
Right in between Latis and Maia. But if you remember correctly, Maia was supposed to be Vitor Belfort at first. Same date.
Little MMA history for you. I'm gonna go with Blanchfield here. I like her coming off the loss. Still young, still learning. Gonna get that takedown. Seeing Rose against the Cookie Monster being so hesitant, partially because of the possibility of the takedown, I think will come into play in this fight. And you also have a chick who's got some pretty good striking in her own right, especially from that southpaw position, which could throw Rose off a little bit as well. So going to go with the favorite here, Erin Blanchfield.
Lit. Next up, the main event of the evening, Brandon Moreno versus Amir Albazi. Guys, I've went back and forth on this ever since Saturday, and I've been, visualizing these fights. I've been going back and forth. I can definitely see Ariel Helwani getting on, the MMA show Tuesday. Like, y'all must have forgot Brandon Moreno goes out there and finishes Amir Albazi. Y'all must have forgot. Because I said the same thing about Francis Ngannou when I was super in on Renan Fiera. I can just see it now in my mind's eye. But I'm going to go Albazi because Brandon is frail. He has way more money, way less motivation. I know that Albazi's cardio hasn't necessarily held up 5 rounds in the past and has been a little bit of a question mark. And it never has been for Moreno. I don't know, guys. I feel like it's hard to sleep tight when you got 30,000 Legos in your house and you've been building them all damn day and you're so tired from building Legos you can't do nothing daggum else. So, and your coach is in federal prison and you're all over the place. You're moving all over from country to country, coach to coach. Who the hell knows what's going on with this Brandon Moreno? Give me Amir Albazi.
The eyes. Sorry?
I said, I don't know, but I'm going with Amir Albazi.
The eyes don't lie. Brandon Moreno, he falls into that category of Rob Whittaker, Max Holloway, a little lovable teddy bear that everybody just wants to take home with them and cuddle up to and play Legos with and play Fortnite with. And, he's Mr. Brandon Moreno, jelly roll. Same to me, to a guy like me. Same. The eyes don't lie. There's something behind the eyes that tells me he's a snake in the grass. He's a fucking fraud. He's a liar. He's a cheat. He's a fucking bad guy. I don't know what it is about Brandon Moreno, but I fucking hate the guy. And I'm going with Amir Albazi as well. I think Amir Albazi is going to pick him up and dump him on his fucking head for 5 straight rounds and beat the fuck out of him. I think Moreno is he wasted all his bullets against Davidson Figueiredo. He wasted every single one of those bullets, and he has no bullets left. And now it's like Tony Ferguson. Everyone's trying to pull your hands apart, and they pull it apart, and you got nothing in there now. He's got nothing in there. He's got no fucking he's got an immense amount of game tape to study on him. Like you said, his best days were when he was working with James, and that is not allowed anymore. He is, in my opinion.
Whoa, I did not say that.
In my opinion, Brandon Moreno is a cheat. He's a snake. He's a slippery, slimy liar, in my opinion. And that's that. I think he's going to get smashed out. Here's what I'll say.
Maybe not today, maybe not tomorrow, maybe not Saturday, but he will get his just desserts.
Yeah, he's like Ian Gary. I mean, Ian Gary has more honesty behind his eyes than Brandon Moreno has behind his eyes. I will say that I did hear through the grapevine that Albazi was in a severe incident, a car accident, where he almost like died from. Let me see.
Switching
Amir
the pick to Moreno.
Albazi car accident. Well, yeah, I mean, apparently, but Albazi did say to Moreno, "I will ragdoll you like Pantoja did."
Dan, talk to me. How's Kentucky looking? Are we red? Are we blue? Are we up? Are we down? Do we buy? Do we sell? Where are we going here?
Kentucky is red.
Okay.
So he was supposed to fight Moreno back in February, right? Earlier this year. He was supposed to fight him in February of 2024. He was sidelined due to a neck injury that required surgery. But hey, he's Amir Albazi. He's tough. He doesn't give a fuck, right? No self-preservation instincts. Doesn't give a fuck about no neck injury. I would bet his neck's better than ever, right? And like you said, Moreno's been building Legos while his guy's been like getting pissed off, hungry, wanting this shit, right? You can't have 2 Super Bowls. You can't have 2 primes. Moreno's already past that. I definitely hear you about the y'all must have forgot shit. He's coming off 2 losses, 2 split decision losses. I don't know how it was a split against Pantoja. Pantoja fucked them up. I think the Iraqi is going to go in there and make hay while the sun shines. He's got to. He's got no choice. So Albazi by decision.
I'm going Moreno here. I think Albazi is a little too stiff. Big dude for the division. I think that works on a lot of guys, but I think he's going to be a little too slow for Moreno. I think Moreno's going to be able to slither his way out of some of these grappling positions, especially once we get into championship rounds. And from there, I think Moreno really takes over both with the cardio and with the better technical striking, able to put up a lot of volume and with some pop behind them at that. So I like Moreno in the matchup. Albazi poses a lot of problems for a lot of flyweights and probably bantamweights as well, but this is a bad matchup for him, in my opinion.
Yeah, no, I hear you. Well, he must, he wants to fight. Yeah, so there's that. All right, cool. Let's run through our 4 picks. I mean, I'm just saying, like, he's coming back. It's like you have this injury. Is he rushing back too soon? It's been over a year. I mean, it's been at least 8 months since that neck and since he had to pull out, right? So, I'm sure he had somewhat of a choice as to when he could come back. I don't think the guy's hurting for fucking money. So, but I could be wrong. I don't know. It's a bad spot, right? When you take the underdog in the main event, when there's a lot of unknowns, because then you kind of like what your option is to hedge on Moreno, But I think that Moreno's catchable, corrallable, and takedownable, and I think that's what Amir's game plan is going to be, and that's what he's going to do. So
fair enough.
Let me go first.
Formally, yeah, you go first, Dan. Go ahead.
I got to run.
No,
out
I'm not. I'll stay with Albazi, regardless of the car accident.
Okay. All right. Go ahead, Dan. Ready when you're ready.
Hold on, my order is a little different because I'm looking at DraftKings and not.
Hey, you're telling me when my fucking DoorDash came to the door without an Oreo McFlurry, my order was not the same whatsoever.
Your order was a little different.
A little bit different.
Man, that's a great callback. That's why we're comedic geniuses. Only 10,000 can do it. Only 2,000.
But there's actually only 250. You make money off of it.
Right.
You can actually afford to live.
All right, here we go. I'm good. All right, from the bottom here, we're going to go with Yusuf Zalal. Then we're hitting up Jamie Lynn Horth. We then go to Cody Gibson, Garrett Armfield, Alexander Romanov. We got Charles Jourdain. We got Jasmine Jazduvicius. Then we got Ayman Sahabi. Mike Malott. I'm going to do a switcheroo here. I got a feeling Dustin Stoltzfus is going to pull this thing off. I think Burial is a little bit shot, has taken a lot of damage. And, I don't think Stoltzfus has to worry about the power coming his way. Burial, not really known as the power guy. He's known as the power bar for his cardio and his volume. And I think that will give Stoltzfus plenty of opportunities for the takedown. What are you laughing? What are you laughing at?
He's not as a power guy.
He's not a power guy. He has no knockout.
Name. Power is in his name.
The power
It's a
bar.
good thing you referenced that because I was sitting there going, his nickname is literally Power Bar, but okay.
The power bar is based on his cardio. Anyway, we're moving on here to Branson Haberio, followed by Yonata Diniz, Aaron Blanchfield, and Brandon Moreno.
All right. And guys, sorry if I'm out of character today. In the words of the great world of t-shirts, I'm going through nicotine withdrawal. Okay.
All the times you were stopping your camera, I thought you were back on stuff.
No. I was taking some sniffing salts, as Luke would say. No, just using the restroom. Not on the nicotine, off the nicotine. I'm having withdrawal myself. But if you're rolling with me, you're going
hold
with
on. LP fam, I'm out. I love you all. I'll catch you all later.
Love you, Dave.
later.
Peace.
You're going with Albazi, Blanchfield, Denise, Machado, Burial, Malott, Zahabi, Jazzy Judavicius, Victor Henry, Alex Romanoff, Seth Saidi, Cameron Gibson, Petrovich, Jack Shore.
All right. And if you're going with me, you're going with Yusuf Salal. You're going with Jamie Lynn Horth, Cody Gibson, Sergey Saidi, Alexander Romanoff, Charles Jourdain, Ariane Lipitsky, Eamon Zahabi, Mike Malott, Marc-Andre Barrialt, Brenson Haberio, Yonata Diniz, Aaron Blanchfield, and Amir Albazi. So Triple V certified picks are going to be Aaron Blanchfield, Yonata Diniz, Mike Malott, Eamon Zahabi, Alexander Romanov, and Cody Gibson. Of those, I would drop Gibson. But other than that, I mean, you drop the one south of minus 185 for sure. But there's a lot of good underdog picks there, a lot of good even money picks there. We love you guys. Thank you so much for joining the show. The parlay that I personally like a lot is, finish off with Yonata Diniz versus Derek Lewis. So you're going to go Diniz, Ribeiro, Malott, Zahabi, Romanov, and Zalal. That's my part. That's my like. I like this a lot. I like this a fucking lot. And if Zalal loses that first fight, you rebuild with the rest, right? And then that to me, I like that a lot. So, you got some good even money there. You got some good ejectable seat spots like Diniz. If you really want to get in there and you're standing to win a lot of money, you can throw a sprinkle on Lewis, and that way, if you,
I think I'm getting freaky this weekend. I think I'm getting a little freaky with it. I think I gotta have a little bit of a freak off for this card because I need to get back in the game, and we're not going to do it. We're not going to do it the way we've been doing it. We got to switch things up. We got to do a little bit of a freak off.
We got to do a bit of a freak off. And it's like Dana White says, what's your number? My number this week, I want this number when I come back on this podcast. It says 236565. I want that number to start with a 4. I want it to say 4 something. So I'm looking to make at least 1,700 net gross annual profit. Not annual, but gross GP. 1,700 in GP coming into this weekend, and I think we can do it. So if I can get to 4, then I'm gonna start. I'm gonna let the parachute out, and I'm gonna say, okay, we're going with an even money pick, we're going $2,000 on an even money pick, and we're going to get that 4 to 6. And then we're going, okay, now we're going 3,000 on an even money pick. We're going to get that 6 to 9. Then we're going, and that's my new strategy. Instead of just trying to double my whole amount, I'm going to get it high, and I'm going to go halvesies, and I'm going to halvesies up until I get to about 10K. And then
we can afford a Maddie Betts collab.
Yes, yeah, like a style, like yeah. And then I'm also going to go, well, I hear what you're saying, but yeah, I mean, I thought you meant like a Maddie Bet style bet, like a $2,500 bet.
No, I meant like we like fly out and go on Maddie Betts show.
I'll give you guys a little precursor. I'm going fucking Charles Oliveira to smoke Michael Chandler. Smoke. All right. Thank you guys. I love you. Thanks for being here. I'll be in the Discord this Saturday. I'll be locked and loaded. A lot more collaborative than I've been in the past. A lot more.
We ain't hard to find. Sco buffs. We're winning. Hey, we might win the whole damn thing.
I love it. Well, thank you all for joining the show as usual. We appreciate you and getting that Discord. And we're gonna have some big changes coming our way. We up, we down, we back around. We'll be here for you, and we love you. So, with that said. Let's go to Edmonton.
Dustin Jacoby.
All right. Bye, everybody. Love you.